Hey, I wanted to talk about three dimensions of fear. I've been noticing here lately that there are a lot of people that are absolutely shut down with fear. They're afraid to try a new job. They're afraid maybe to try, a new sport or something, or, maybe try to talk to somebody new, or maybe share their heart with somebody or whatever. There's all these, places where people are just shut down with fear. And so the first dimension of fear is being frozen. And the only way that you can overcome that dimension of fear is with action. Years ago, I used to break bricks with my head. I would do anything to tell people about Yeshua, tell them about Jesus. And I had a personal record of 2 feet of bricks that I would break with my head. But I couldn't start there because I was fearful. I had to break one brick, and then another brick, and another brick. And with that action, I overcame that fear that had me frozen. And so that's the first dimension of fear. The second dimension of fear is a phobia. And phobias are a specific thing that you're afraid of. I used to be afraid of taking tests. And in that, I was on my way to take my CDL test for, my license. And I was just shut down with fear. I hate taking tests. And my wife started praying with me, and we asked the Father to reveal what lie was in effect that caused me to feel like I couldn't take a test. And as we began to pray, the Father revealed to me that I felt like I was a failure. I wasn't smart enough, that I wasn't going to be able to pass the test. And so in short, I handed that over to the Father, and I repented for believing that lie, and I asked Him to show me and exchange that with what the truth was. And the truth was, hey, you're smart enough. You got this. I went down to take that test, and I was only going to take one of the CDL tests that I had to take. I ended up taking all of them in one afternoon and aced them all. I went through one at a time and just one after the other, and I just kept going. And because that phobia, fear of one certain thing, was completely gone. And so the way that you overcome that dimension of fear is that you ask the Father to reveal what that lie is and exchange that lie for the truth. The Father will help you if you just pray and ask Him. He'll show you. The third dimension of fear that I want to talk about is it affects friends and family. When you're shut down with fear, when you ask somebody for help and they say, I'm sorry, I can't help you, I'm afraid to do that, that ends up hurting that friendship. When you're too afraid to admit that you're wrong, maybe to your children or to your spouse, when you're too afraid in that area, what happens is that fear begins to shut you down, and it will ruin that friendship with your family and with your friends. And so the only way that you can overcome that dimension is the same way that you overcome the first dimension. You have to do it with action. You ask them, hey, will you pray for me? I'm afraid to admit this to you. I'm afraid to tell you that I can't do this or can't do that. Or I'm afraid to do that. Will you pray with me through this so that I can have the favor and the courage to go ahead and do this and to get past this dimension of fear? So in short, again, fear will freeze you. Fear can be a phobia, fear of one thing, and fear will affect your friends and family. So I just want to encourage you, deal with fear, hit it head on. There again, I want to encourage you to like Eagle Rock Ministries, and also we want to see you free and powerful.